Tétouan is a city in northern Morocco. The Berber name means literally the eyes and figuratively the water springs. Tétouan is one of the two major ports of Morocco on the Mediterranean Sea. It lies a few miles south of the Strait of Gibraltar and about 40 miles E.S.E. of Tangier. In 2014 the city had 463,968 inhabitants. Tétouan Civil Airport Sania Ramel Airport is located 6 kilometers to the east. Arabic is the official language but it is not used for everyday dialogue. The city has its own dialect, a particular citadine variant of non-Hilalian Arabic which is distinct from Gebli Arabic. However, Gebli Arabic is predominant since people from the neighboring rural areas settled in the city during the 20th century rural flights. The use of Spanish and French is still widespread, especially by the businessmen and intellectual elites due to past colonial ties and geographic location to Europe. The majority religion is Islam. Small Christian and Jewish communities also exist. Description: the city is situated about 60 kilometers east of the city of Tangier and 40 kilometers south of the Spanish exclave of Ceuta and the Strait of Gibraltar. It is in the far north of the Rif Mountains. To the south and west of the city there are mountains. Tétouan is situated in the middle of a belt of orchards that contain orange, almond, pomegranate and cypress trees. The Rif Mountains are nearby as the city is located in the Martel Valley. It is picturesquely situated on the northern slope of a fertile valley down which flows the Martel River, with the harbour of Tétouan, Martel, at its mouth. Behind rise rugged masses of rock. The southern wall of the Angera country, once practically closed to Europeans, and across the valley of the hills which form the northern limit of the still more impenetrable Rif. The streets are fairly wide and straight, and many of the houses belonging to aristocratic families, descendants of those expelled from Al-Andalus by the Spanish Reconquista, possess marble fountains and have groves planted with orange trees. Within the houses the ceilings are often exquisitely carved and painted in Hispano-Moresque designs, such as are found in the Alhambra of Granada, and the tile work for which Tétouan is known may be seen on floors, pillars and dados. The traditional industries are tile work, inlaying with silver wire, and the manufacture of thick-soled yellow slippers, much esteemed flintlocks, and artistic towels used as cape and skirt by Arabic girls in rural areas. The Jews lived in a mellah, separated from the rest of the town by gates which were closed at night. The harbour of Tétouan was obstructed by a bar, over which only small vessels can pass, and the roadstead, sheltered to the north, northwest and south, is exposed to the east, and is at times unsafe in consequence of the strong Levanta. History. A few miles outside of the city limits lies the ancient town of Tamuda. Artifacts from both the Roman and the Phoenician era have been found in the site of Tamuda. Before its foundation in the late 13th century, small fortifications existed here with the name Tétouan. Its name is first mentioned in 9th century Arabic chronicles, after the death of E.S.E. In 1286 the Myrinids built a Kasbah and mosque there. The first large-scale building project took place in 1305 when the settlement was expanded by the Myrinid king Abu Thabit. He fortified the place and had it serve as a base for attacks on Ceuta, which had recently come under the rule of a rebellious member of the Myrinid family. The official name of the Myrinid city was Afrij Tent in Berber. Unofficial documents kept referring to it as Tétouan. Around 1400 it was destroyed by the Castilians because pirates used it for their attacks. By the end of the 15th century it was rebuilt by refugees from the Reconquista, when the Andalusian Moors first reared the walls and then filled the enclosure with houses. These Andalusians came into conflict with the Beni Hosmer tribe, after which they they asked the Wattasid Sultan for protection. In response, he sent 80 soldiers. In turn, the Andalusians paid a large amount of mithqal, thus ensuring their autonomy. Instantly, the Andalusians, assisted by tribes from the surrounding mountains, started harassing the Spanish possessions on the Moroccan coast. These attacks led to the destruction of the city's harbor by the Spanish in 1565. During this time, city was governed by the Andalusian Abu Hassan al-Mandari, and the city remained autonomous from the Saudi sultans, with the Saudis constantly trying to assert the power. In the 17th century, the city was governed by the wealthy Al-Naxas family. In the late 17th century, the city was taken by the Alawite Sultan Moli Ismail, who encountered fierce resistance there. Tétouan remained fragile until it was taken by Ahmad al-Rifi, the Alawite governor of Tangiers and leader of the Berber Rifian tribes that had conquered Tangiers from the British. This al-Rifi ushered in a period of stability in Tétouan, building many of Tétouan's landmarks. After his death, the city again rebelled and only nominally controlled by the central government. In 1790, a pogrom happened, started by Sultan Yazid. The Mela was pillaged and many women raped. It had a reputation for piracy at various times in its history, and in 1829, the Austrians punitively bombarded the city due to Moroccan piracy. It was taken on the 4th of February 1860 by the Spaniards under General I Conde de Lucena, who was made hereditary Duke de Tétouan, and later served as Prime Minister of Spain. However, the Spanish evacuated on the 2nd of May 1862. In 1913 it became the capital of the Spanish Protectorate of Morocco, which was governed by the Jalifa and the Spanish Alto Comisario accredited to him, and it remained its capital until 1956. Many people in the city still speak Spanish. On road signs often names are written both in Spanish and in Arabic, though many signs are in Arabic and French, the second language of modern Morocco. Tétouan has also been home to an important Sephardi Jewish community, which immigrated from Spain after the Reconquista and the Spanish Inquisition. This Jewish Sephardi community spoke a form of Judeo-Spanish known as Harkeisha. Some of them emigrated later to Oran, to South America, and much later to Israel, Spain, France and Canada. Following the exodus of Jews from Arab countries after 1948, there are very few Jews left in Tétouan nowadays. Climate. Tétouan features a Mediterranean climate with Köppen climate classification of E.S.E. Located along the Mediterranean Sea, the weather in Tétouan is mild and rainy during the winter, hot and dry in the summer months. Sites in and around Tétouan. The Medina of Tétouan is on the World Heritage List of the UNESCO. The inner city is very characteristic and traditional. One can find many white houses there, especially low houses. Everywhere in the city there are people performing the craftsmanship, like weavers, jewelers, leather workers. Street sellers often try to sell carpets to tourists as well. The Royal Palace in Tétouan is situated just outside and by one of the entrances to the Medina. There is a public square in front of it. Casbah. Mosques. Education. There are Spanish international schools operated by the country's Ministry of Education. Colegio Español Jacinto Benavente. Instituto Español Juan de la Cierva. Instituto Español Nuestra Señora del Pilar. Twin Towns. Granada, Spain. Pina, Spain. Santa Fe, Argentina. Teresa, Spain. External links.